Hi class, Mrs. Calvi here. Quick review on multiplying decimals. So we have 7 times 0.5. Whenever I multiply, I want to put the number that has the most digits at the top. Okay, so 0.5 times 7. Okay, 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 0 is 0, plus 3 gives me 3. So now, one common mistake students make is they just bring their decimal point down into their answer. That is not correct for multiplication, okay? You have to count scoops. So from the end of the number, I'm going to count how many scoops it takes me to get to that decimal point. So it takes me 1 scoop. So from the end of my answer, I'm going to go over 1 scoop and enter my decimal point. Now, many of you are going to say, well, if I would have brought it down, it would have landed in the same spot. In this case, yes, but not always. So for multiplying decimals, you need to count scoops. So in this case, my final answer was 3 5/10. All right, let's try another example. Okay, so here I have -3 times 0.03. Again, I'm going to start with the number that has the most digits on the top. So 0.03 times, and I line everything up by shifting everything to the right. I do not line them up by decimal point like we did with addition and subtraction. Everything gets shifted to the right, okay? So now, the first thing I want to do before I even do the math, I notice that I have a negative. So I'm going to figure out what my final answer is going to be sign-wise first, so I don't forget about the sign in the end. Many students go ahead and do all of the math part of it, and then they forget about the sign in the end. So a negative times a positive gives me a negative. Remember, multiplication and division. Signs are the same, your answer is positive. Signs are different, your answer is negative. So I'm putting my negative there so I don't forget about it. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. So now, to figure out where my decimal goes, I'm counting scoops. 1, 2. So from the end of my answer, 1, 2. So my final answer would be -9/100. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, so here I have 1.25 times a -2.4. So I always start with the number that has the most digits, and I'm going to put it on the top because with multiplication, order doesn't matter, okay? So I have 1.25, and I'm going to multiply that by 2.4. Remember, you do not line up your decimals for multiplication. You just have to make sure you shift everything to the right. So you're pushing everything to the right, okay? Now, next step is I'm going to first figure out what my sign is. I have a positive times a negative. My signs are different. My final answer will be negative. So I'm going to put my negative sign. All right. So now I'm going to start multiplying. 4 times 5 gives me 20. 4 times 2 gives me 8, plus 2 gives me 10. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Okay. So I'm done with my 4. I need a placeholder. I'm moving over to my 2. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 2 times 1 is 2. Okay? Kind of running out of room here. I'm going to actually rewrite it up here so you guys can see. So right now I am at this. And I know that my final answer is going to be a negative. So I'm going to add these. 0, 0, I get 10, and 3. So now, counting my scoops. 1, 2, 3. So you have to count the scoops to all of the decimals involved. So 3 scoops. 1, 2, 3. So my answer here became -3 technically because the rest were all zeros. Okay, so -3. All right, let's try one more. All right, so here I'm going to start with the one that has the most digits, 3.68. I'm going to multiply that by 1.5. Do not line up your decimals. Shift everything to the right. I'm going to figure out my sign first. I have a negative times a positive. My signs are different. My final answer is going to be negative. So I'm going to put my negative sign so I don't forget it. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 4 is 34. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 plus 3 is 18. I am done with my 5. I need a placeholder. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. Okay? So now don't confuse this negative with subtracting this. Obviously, we're adding these. Okay? So I'm going to bring down my sign into where it's going to go. My final answer will be negative. I'm going to add these. 0 and 0 is 0. 8 and 4 is 12. 9 and 6 is going to give me 15. 1 and 1 is 2. 2 and 3 is 5. So now I'm going to be counting scoops, right? 1, 2, 3. 3 scoops. 1, 2, 3. So my final answer is a negative 5.52. I don't need that last 0. It's not necessary. Okay? That is it for now, and I will talk to you guys soon.